Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, it's good here. How are you?
Good. Been working my behind off, but it's all good. Rather be doing that than nothing, you know. Well, we have a great guest tonight. His name is RezNeck, correct? Bobbie RezNeck?
Yep. Right. Let's go ahead and bring him on. There you go.
Right on. Okay.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
How's it going, Bobbie?
Pretty good.
Right on.
Enjoying the storms out here tonight.
Brandon Cooper says, hello, humans. Hello.
Yeah, he's our friend.
Good. Is he also...
I know Lee's out there. Hi, Lee.
Yep. Let's see if I can pull him up. They're not working. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, Bobbie. We got, interaction. It's always good.
We always like that.
Sean, of course. Thank you.
Sean, thank you for all you do, Sean.
They're just telling everybody. This one's this is a inside joke. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
There we go. Yay!
Okay, well that's a step in the right direction.
You too, Brandon.
All right, so do you want to give us a little bit of info on who you are and what you do in this field and how long you've been involved in it?
Oh, all right. Where to start? Well, I'm a member of Cryptids and Anomalies in the Paranormal Society, otherwise known as Wisconsin CAPS. Lead investigator is Barnaby Jones. He's a cryptozoologist, good friend of mine. I've known him for quite a few years. Far as how long I've been in the field publicly, for about 4 years now, going on 5. But basically, I was born into dealing with the paranormal and spiritual side of things. Right. Both my parents were ministers in a spiritualist religion and psychic mediums, also healers. So knowing as a child that you have spirits in your home every day, every night, no matter where you go and what you do, you get used to it. It's no big deal. What else is there? Say I'm a proud member of the Stockbridge Muncie tribe. And what I do, basically, I try to blend my experiences growing up with the Spiritualist Church, along with some of the teachings of the Native Americans, and kind of jumble it all together with everything else that you learn along the way.
Right. So, do you do a lot of work, like with other Native Americans and the issues they have, or if they ever have any?
Prior to me joining the team, if anyone back home would call, say, I need my house smudged, or I think I got this going on, I'd go check it out. I've always been one to be there for them. It seems like now, since I've joined the team and more of the places that we go, a lot of the native spirits are coming forth to me to have their voices heard.
Right. That's kind of
it's a unique journey I'm on.
Oh, I'm sure, because that's kind of a closed off culture, right? Like to,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's from what I understand. I've actually had the privilege of working on a few cases where the natives have contacted me, but it's a very sensitive area where they're with them, and it just, I'm just curious if you deal with a lot of that or any of that, if they contact you.
Some do.
Some
You
do.
know, it's still, you know, I'm still spreading the word. You
Yeah.
know, again, we still fight that we keep everything close to the chest. We don't really talk much about a lot of things.
Exactly.
So with fighting that,
Which
it's kind of hard.
I have the utmost respect for their culture. I just wanted to say that, and it's like an honor when they actually get a hold of you and talk to you about it. I mean, that's how I view it. It's an honor.
Definitely. You know, I've been trying to get more of them to speak more publicly and openly on my podcast, Red Road Paranormal, just to bring it to the forefront.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still hard. Even, you know, my partner is Native American, I'm Native American, and to get others to come on the show and actually speak about a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of go, well, I'll tell you about it, but I don't want to go on the show.
Yeah. 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 It's yeah. There's a lot of well, it's an ancient well, their understanding of spirits is different I think than most people's. There's what's that?
What we have a completely different structure and belief than what mainstream does.
Right. Well, so what got you interested in like joining a team and all that? Just your experiences growing up. You want to talk about some of your experiences growing up? Like what are some of the ones that stuck out?
I've had houses where we would leave and all the lights would be off. You come back and the basement lights on. And we actually had one roommate that went down and unscrewed the bulb enough that if you pulled the lever, it wouldn't come on.
Right.
We came back from the racetrack one day and it was screwed back in and on.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've had orbs and apparitions walk past me in the houses I've been in. A little bit of everything, you know, over the years. Yeah, a mixture. And then, you know, I've always been a big fan of watching the shows for entertainment value. And I'd sit there and be the one in the background calling bullshit or like, man, I can.
Or now,
and a lot of people.
Sorry, but was that frightening as a child to experience some of that? Like, was it alarming? Something you were used to?
At first, but I was kind of used to it because of my upbringing with the spiritualist church. You know, a lot of what I learned from my parents' classes. At the time that they were going through all the classes for the mediumship and become ministers, they didn't have a babysitter. So I got tossed in the corner with my toys, and you just kind of like a little sponge there. You soak it all in.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
well, it's a very spiritual outlook. It's different than there's a lot of I have a theory that spirits are recognized at like a ancestral level like that they gain power over those people more than so the people that do not. And I think that, for instance, there's certain entities that are very dangerous to natives that people might dismiss. I mean, I don't know if I'm right about that, but
I really haven't come across anything really dangerous to Native Americans yet.
Powerful.
You know, I do use the term yet. Not necessarily more powerful. I've noticed in my case where I go into a lot of locations and the dark runs from me. I literally have to chase the darkness throughout the location to kind of get a read on it. You know, and that's kind of been the way it's been all my life.
Like, for instance, there
have people
understood like the natives being not wanting to speak about certain spirits, and if these spirits had the same power to the majority as they do to them because of their culture, they would understand. Like, people think it's a form of superstition. I think it's absolutely legitimate. I was answering a comment that your friend made about how the natives look at different as white people. Yeah, most definitely, absolutely. I think that there is a much greater respect for spirits when it comes to the Native American culture than there is other cultures around the world. and especially here.
Yep, Brandon.
Yeah, right. But there's certain spirits that you don't name by name, correct? Because of the danger involved in that.
Yes, there are some that people will say you don't want to name. I know like everyone's hung up on the Skinwalker name right now. The
Right.
thing is, you got to realize that's Southwest. That's
Right.
they're not up here in the north.
Now,
So
are these real? Do you feel these are real entities, like the Skinwalker? They're a real thing.
yes,
Okay, absolutely.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, you have the Skinwalkers. You know, you have the little people. You know,
So
if our culture speaks about it and passes it down,
it's
there's a
real.
reason for it.
Well,
Yeah,
so
we're not the type like. Pardon me.
are they cryptids or spirits? Like these types of
Your Skinwalkers are basically medicine men turn evil, and have done things along the darkness to gain power.
that are morally wrong and
Yes,
that.
I believe if I'm not mistaken, you have to kill something or someone that you love to start gaining that power.
Okay.
You know, it's basically you take someone that from the good that is basically power hungry and greedy, and they go through the rituals and they do what they have to do to gain their powers, and it completely takes them to the dark side.
That's
Now, I personally have a theory thinking like the dog man is potentially a skinwalker that isn't able to change back out of form anymore. He's spent so much time in the darkness.
right. Well, I mean, so do these entities pose a real threat, though, don't they, to people?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
an
know,
actual.
definitely.
Yeah. So they're not something to be taken lightly.
No.
No.
Nothing in our culture you should take lightly because, like I had mentioned before, if we speak upon it, it's legit. It's there.
Okay.
You know, I can't guarantee everyone's story about it's
I
real,
believe that.
but the entity itself is.
It says little people are linked to
You
how do
know,
you say that?
Muhammad.
Yeah.
A lot of tribes have stories of the little people all over. You know, and it's similar. Every account is pretty similar, but they're not all the same.
Right. There's a lot of the area I live in is very rich in Native American history, and there's a lot of folklore like these different spirits or different cryptids or whatever you classify them as, and there have been I believe it 100% that there's a lot of legitimacy to these, and the paranormal it's so strange that I mean it's hard to explain. Oh, what happened? Did we lose our guest? Hello, Gwen, you there?
He dropped off.
Uh-oh.
He can come back in. Give him a second.
Oh. Killed and eaten their families. Oh,
yeah. The skinwalkers have killed and ate their families, and that's
so
what.
Are we getting gremlins now, or what's the deal?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, we talked about religion and stuff tonight, so there's no telling what's going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen. There you go.
Yeah, I'll check out. What Brandon was saying was, the skinwalkers, they have killed their families.
Like
They ate their families.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard that. That's part of the legend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a huge Cherokee legend. Yeah. Now the little
there he comes. Here
okay,
he comes.
so one of the names that we're not supposed to mention. I don't know what you mentioned.
There he is.
There he is. What happened, bud?
They must not just talking about what we're talking about.
Yeah, gremlins.
That's what we were saying.
Gremlins. Yeah, they get in here and they make things happen. Happens all the time. So I was going to ask a question. I can't. I suffer from CRS. Can't remember shit most of the time. But
I know how it goes.
You should play him the audio from Liberty Bond and see what he thinks.
Oh, shoot, yeah. You know I love that. Yeah.
Okay.
So set it up for him. Tell him what it is.
Okay. Well, long story short. Okay. There's this town that no longer exists. It was abandoned in like the early 1900s due to reasons unknown. They don't even know why. and there was some. Fast forward about 70 years, there were some loggers in the local area in the area that were logging, and they experienced something paranormal that scared them so bad that they wouldn't go back up and get their equipment. And I want to find out what I thought that was that would be interesting to check this place out. And there's only one logger that spoke of what happened, and all he said was that some evil chased him away. And all that's left of this town is a cemetery. That's it. But looking into it further, this is where the natives had a lot of conflict with the U.S. cavalry, and the land was supposed to be cursed. So,
blood.
Yeah. So I captured this piece of evidence that we're going to play, and
ready?
Would like to get your opinion on it.
Yep. You good? Ready? Here we go. Remind me to cut it off, Sean. Anyway, Chad. Sorry.
She has CRS too.
On my hand. Okay, well, let's leave this stuff recording here. Okay? Thank you, Fido.
You heard that thing?
Yeah?
That's fucking crazy.
What is? Oh, yeah, it's because the boogeyman's here. Happens about every time. Whoa! Hang on! Stop, hang on. What? What is that?
Okay.
There we go.
I fired the gun to think I was scaring away animals, but obviously that didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
Personally, I think it's a pack of coyotes that are surrounding you.
Gunshots.
That's my first instinct. They're
And
not always are scared of gunshots.
Well, there's some factors that come into play, like the thundering of footsteps that you hear right after the gunshot and the howling. That was the audio device on the hill behind me, and there was nothing there.
Okay.
So they were whatever was coming past the. What's that? Little people. Oh, okay. But there was something thundering past us, which was not visible. We couldn't see it, and the other people, they made it to the car before I did, and the screams were really close to my ear, like to where I would duck, like they were hurting my ear, like they were so close, and it stopped when I made it back to the car, touched the car door, it stopped. Yeah, instantly, and it's like and it was so loud in real life, like, that doesn't really give it justice.
Brandon is saying that it was a warning. This is their danger alert, and yeah.
It was your time to go, basically, is what they're saying.
Oh yeah. Which
it's like you need to leave.
Well, it's interesting. We've been up to the location after that, and nothing like that's happened, but other things have happened. And it's a very active location, very active.
And where was this location again?
This was in Washington State.
Okay.
It was in.
I wouldn't mind checking this out.
Yeah,
it's right up my alley.
Very active place. So do you think that do you think and then there's local natives in the area that claim that there's something there, that they leave offerings to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so does that ring a bell, make sense, or?
I know a lot of times what we do is we live out like a spirit plate,
Mhm.
and that's basically like when you have your events, like your Christmases, your get-togethers, heck, you can be barbecuing. Just put a little bit of each bit of food that you're cooking out on a disposable plate or a leaf of
Right.
lettuce or some bark, and you're giving it to the spirit world, for those that have passed on to honor them.
And now, do
So
you think?
that might be why they're doing this, to honor them. So basically, to keep them happy. Because
Right.
I've noticed myself a lot of times in these cases where you have the Native American quote unquote hauntings, it's
Mhm.
not so much they're trying to be mean or evil or
No,
anything, it's
no,
that
and I'll say this:
they're being forgotten.
there have been some locations that I've gone to that have been Native American. Lots of them that whatever was there didn't seem at all menacing at all. It didn't seem threatening.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel. I didn't even have that oppressive feeling. Like there's something that meant harm.
Right.
We used to say they're usually pretty mellow. There's activity, but it's not like in a threatening manner. Do you think that? What do you think when it comes to the legend that this place is cursed? Now, would there be? I mean, is that possible?
Yeah. If one of the things that actually can curse the land there is, like you mentioned, I believe you said there is a lot of a battle going on there. So the
Yeah.
loss of life and the land being stained with the blood, that's getting left behind in the soil. It contaminates the soil, so therefore it would pretty much be a cursed place.
And they don't know
And
why the
every-
town either. Like it's an unknown mystery. Like there's like an established town there back in the like late 1800s, and they don't know why they packed up and left. They have really no. There's no reason for it. That logical reason. So, and maybe
Some spooked them.
yeah, some might have, but yeah, that location, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to take you up there anytime.
Yeah, I'd definitely check.
Check it out. Oh, there he goes again. Oh man.
Took me away. Sent me to my room. What happened there?
Oh, the man.
I actually accidentally did that one. Sorry.
As I said, she sent me to my room.
That was my bad. No,
Gremlin.
I'm just jealous that I don't get to go to that place and investigate. That's what
Hey, don't say never. You might.
I know.
Exactly.
I would love to do that. That would be cool.
Don't say never.
If you look at some of the stuff up in Alaska, Portlock was pretty much abandoned, and that was because of the Bigfoot issues.
Okay,
that
I'll
happened there.
bring it back. Okay.
And so that was pretty much, they were done, gone. Everyone was out, and the town was abandoned. So without any actual knowledge of history, it has happened in the past, but you never know.
You never know the reason.
What their reason for.
Right.
Not completely out of the realm.
Well, there's two established mill towns back in that day, and one's Mill A. They call it's still there, and then Mill B, which would be Liberty Bond, with the ruins of that where that was captured. And yeah, they had big plans for it, and they just, for whatever reason, they got the heck out of there. And there's a lot of folklore linked to it, and a lot of urban legends and that kind of thing. But
what's the folklore about that?
Well, just that it was cursed.
Yeah,
it was a curse. That the natives cursed it, and they summoned spirits there to guard it, and to make sure that nobody sets foot there. And I don't know if that's such a thing, but
they don't want any more desecration of the land, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
more what I'm feeling there.
Tell them about the great Bigfoot. What?
There's people that thought that this audio is also some kind of cryptid. And it's that opinion also of it. Yeah. But I mean, I was there. There's nothing. The only thing I saw was like a black smoke kind of had a light on the gun and kind of went in front of the gun and blacked it out. It was like a black fog kind of crawling across the ground.
Wars, okay. The great big wars. Sorry.
Okay, the great Bigfoot wars.
Yeah, well, back in the day, Bigfoot and us natives, we walk hand in hand together. And a lot of us, they basically come down to the drum. They love listening to us when we drum and dance. Basically, our braves would play with their young. Well, eventually, one of the tribal members got hurt during this. and it basically kicked it off between us and the Bigfoot that we weren't allowed to walk hand in hand together no more. And it went back and forth for a little while, and then eventually it came to the point where we've agreed that we leave them alone, they leave us alone, and we do our own thing, and we would coincide together basically.
So have you had any personal experiences with Bigfoot or Sasquatch?
Yeah, actually, I with the team we were up in upper UP of Michigan, and me and my team leader were out one night, and we were walking through the woods, and next thing you know, you hear a thump just out of nowhere, and you hear another one. But within a few seconds later, no leaf movement, no nothing else. You just hear them thumps. So we followed it into the woods, and we couldn't find anything that would have made the noises. And
was it like the sound of throwing off a tree, maybe like a hollow thud like that?
No, it was a thump on the ground, one pretty much big enough you almost felt the vibrations.
Yeah, well, out at that Bond location, we had just arrived there one night, and there was the echoing, vibrating sound of like something being thrown off a tree, as like a boulder or rock or something. Sounded like, and it was
like what they call tree knocks.
Or like it sounded like something big and heavy being thrown off a tree. It was weird. There's other evidence we've captured at that location, which I'm going to release here soon. Where there's a phenomenon called the 411 where people disappear. You ever heard of that phenomenon?
No.
No.
Uh-uh.
Well, it happens in certain areas. National parks is one that it happens in, but there was a documentary called The Hunted, which is all these hunters that disappeared.
Okay.
And they stay away thump. There's a great greeting thump.
I think it was to let us know that they were there.
Yeah, that's it. That's one. Are you familiar with it, Brand? LBL, what's that?
Oh, don't know what the LBL is, Brandon. But if
Brandon,
you want
what's the LBL?
You click back to one of Lee's statements. She talks about a blue bead being brought back by Sasquatch.
Yes.
We were out one weekend, and she's a personal friend of ours, and we were at a retreat, and we went across the river to go ahead and look for sabe is what they call them up there, Ojibwe, Ojibwe country.
Right.
And she brought some blue beads. Well, we left them on like a gifting stump for them. And then the blue beads that she took got brought back. One of them got brought back to her. So that's what she was mentioning, the blue bead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Labs between the lakes. I'm still lost. I don't know what that means. What's lab between lakes?
That's the LBL, probably the
right.
land between the lakes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
land between the lakes. Yes. Okay.
Right. So there's that matches. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's certain elements that are there where these cases take place, and lots of granite is one. There's usually some water, body water somewhere, and there's a storm that usually rolls in. And the reason why I mention this is because some of the audio that we captured is identical to what these people captured at the end of their documentary, that they were documenting this phenomenon. And there have been a lot of disappearances in this area where this was captured, that audio, by Liberty Bond. It's very interesting, connection there. And we were up there. Go ahead.
If you got a lot of water movement and you have granite, that's a lot of energy being cycled in that one area.
True. That's true.
It's an actual place. Okay.
Oh, it's an actual place. Okay. So is it near a national park, or they have these hot spots that they where people go missing that they categorize. There's a lot of national parks. And it's so bizarre because, like, if the people go missing, they're never found again. And if they are found, they're found. Look it up and
Thanks, Brandon, for a new rabbit hole.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks so much.
I'll go down.
That's right. I'm bringing the needles. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, sorry, guys.
Bring the needles. What's that mean?
He's coming to the powwow Saturday. Yeah, bringing the needles. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, no, there was one night that we were out there and a lot of stuff happened. And one of the things is, like, these people get disoriented, they get lost before they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my buddy, and I dismissed it to, like, having a brain fart or something. We went up towards the hotspot at this location, and before I knew it, like, there was, like, it didn't look familiar. And come to find out, we were, like, way down from where we were originally. We had no recollection of how we got there. And it just
the
was
wood
very
spirits.
odd. What's that?
That's the wood spirits for you.
Don't make it
Yeah, they
disoriented.
always tell you, don't go in the woods at night unless you know what you're doing.
This is at
Otherwise,
night.
they will turn you around. They will get you lost.
Get lost and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's happened to a lot of our my team members in the past. They've gotten disoriented and wound up walking in the opposite direction as we were walking, and this is weird stuff. But that evening we captured this audio that's very similar to what these people captured on the documentary. And the moving trees is real. Okay, the moving trees. No, I believe that. Oh, there's some stuff that, like I said, just when you think you've seen it all in the paranormal, you haven't, you know.
Oh no, not even close.
How bizarre.
We haven't even scratched the tip of everything that's out there.
Oh man, it's bizarre.
Okay, I looked up the land between the lakes. Would you guys like to know what it says?
Sure.
Please.
It says, the land between the lake controversy. The root of the dispute dates back more than 4 decades when the Tennessee Valley Authority forcibly removed hundreds of families from the low-lying farmland between Tennessee and Cumberland rivers. Then they dammed off the rivers, creating Lake Berkeley and Kentucky Lake, and flooding some of the farmland.
Really?
So displaced all these families, and I don't know the rest of it.
So they removed people from their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Native people.
This just says hundreds of families.
What year was this? Does it say?
I'm looking. And I'm missing the comments, guys. I'll go back in a second.
So another atrocity, government atrocity, basically.
Yep. All right. What did I miss?
Let's see. Brandon says compare the 411 to the area from the lakes, or to that area. It says.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything in Native culture that does this?
Not that I can think of per se that would, just make them go missing.
Well, they find like remnants of them, like their clothes all folded and neatly in one spot, or they just bizarre stuff that's impossible like that. I mean, just weird things are too weird to be coincidence. Yeah. So nothing like that. So, and what's weird is this thing. Go ahead.
Hearing about this, the first thing that comes to my mind with people going missing like that is, UFOs, extraterrestrial.
Yeah,
that's my first instinct.
Yeah, there's actually some stuff that links that phenomenon to that.
Yeah.
So what do you think that whole phenomenon is? Because I mean,
I've always been a believer. In fact, the creator. To think that the creator only put life on this one rock, all the billions of them out there. Come on, to me that's pretty good. So I know some tribes believe that that's our ancestors up there,
Mhm.
the stars and the planets, and the life forms. Um, I'm actually, some part of me thinks that we're their ant farm, we're their experiment.
True. Yeah.
And the one thing that got me thinking about that was the movie The Fourth Kind,
Oh, the fourth kind of
where
interesting movie.
yep, with the owls and all that up in Alaska,
Yeah.
and the one spot where she's seizing out on her couch. They have the camera footage and they have the actual footage from it,
Right. Right.
and she's like, "Oh God" or "Dear God." And then next thing you know, you hear that mechanical voice out of her throat going, "I am your God."
Right. And that's
Yep.
like Sumerian too.
You know?
So you guys, would
And
you mind
then,
if Brandon comes on and explains?
No.
yeah,
No.
bring him
No.
on.
Come on, Brandon.
That's my buddy.
Sent you the link. I sent you the. Yeah, I love Brandon. That's why he was giving me crap. So yeah, come on, Brandon.
Yeah, Jamie, my hair is missing, but I still got some.
Wait, don't you have some in the back? A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept the skullet. I seen that she made that comment, so.
All right. Let's
No,
see.
the wife had to
Yep. There
chop off
he
her
is.
hair because of the radiation and everything, so I
Here
figured
he
to
is.
honor her.
There's the
most of mine.
superstar.
What's
There
up?
he is.
What's happening, everybody?
Oh,
What's up, brother?
Brandon, this is Chad. You
Can
know
everybody-
Rez.
how are you?
Oh, no wonder. Like, I'm still listening to the podcast on my phone in my ears, and I'm like, what's happening?
What's happening?
Sorry, we're good now. I did want to come on here real quick and say that you guys picked an amazing guest. Rez is very, 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 very knowledgeable.
I'm honored.
And not only that, the man's got a heart of freaking gold. You couldn't have picked a better person
Thank
to do
you.
this. But I was just going to come on to explain the LBL because this will lead you. Hang on, let me raise my chair.
Please.
I look
it.
like I'm short. There we go.
Yeah, we don't want the gnome look tonight. We want the big
No.
brain.
Yeah, I don't. The gnome hat's downstairs. I'll be wearing it at Gettysburg. So if you go to the Missing 411 website, right,
Mhm.
there's going to be that graph of areas of missing people.
Right.
So you take that graph of the missing people and put it on top of the LBL.
Right.
It almost covers the entire LBL.
Okay.
Not only is it thought that it's Bigfoot, that's somehow they're stumbling into their
411 is David Politis thought it was Bigfoot doing it, but yeah. Anyway,
But
go ahead and continue.
yeah, so it's just like
There's a lot of rabbit holes, and all this paranormal stuff seems to be connected, which is odd.
well,
Very
and
odd.
then I'll throw this out. I'm gonna get the hell off because this is Rez's show. But
No.
You can
As soon
hang
as
out
I
as long
say
as you
this-
want, brother.
as soon as I say this, Rez will know what I'm talking about. Generally, when there are Bigfoot sightings, there's also AKA ball lightning in the area. There are lights in the area, static.
Mhm.
So
Paranormal
what is causing this static? Is it an interdimensional travel that is causing that little rift, and that's where we get the lights from the Bigfoot sightings? And
yeah.
I'm gonna get off because this is not my time. I had my show.
It doesn't match.
No,
Oh, but
hang out
you're
with us,
coming on
brother.
this show too. You're coming on here, so
This ain't me, man. This all redneck.
Yeah. No, the footage I talked to you about, Gwen, of the balls of light that we filmed.
Yep.
Okay, same location. Same
Is
location.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't still have it though. I don't have it
There.
on here.
Well, no, I
Interesting.
haven't been out.
You're
there,
making
but
me
no,
want to go up to this location more now.
I
Yeah.
mean, dude, as soon as he said it, I'm very interested. However, I'm gonna get on those coyotes and the foxes because there were a few foxes in there if you listen quite carefully. Yeah, now those
They're a little
foxes,
softer.
there's no foxes up there up in Washington.
but if you listen, there's foxes. The higher pitched howl that's above the coyotes,
Mhm.
that's a warning howl from a fox.
Well,
now,
what's weird is that when the first howl broke out, it was so loud that it vibrated me. Like if you were sitting in the back of a car that has a bass system. Yeah, it was that loud.
Now, Bigfoot uses ultrasound, right?
I don't know. Well, we do live in the Bigfoot capital of the world too.
So Bigfoot uses ultrasound. This is my theory. Rez and I have talked about this too. Ultrasound is that super low frequency that they use in scary movies in the theater to give you that uneasy, nervous feeling.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Yep.
Yeah,
Predators
it's similar.
use
That's
it in
the
the
same
wild.
thing that big cats
Very
do
similar.
when they growl.
Very similar. Yeah.
Yep. So
I mean,
it's Kentucky. It's on the way up to Missouri. So if you're going to Kansas City, you're gonna go right through LBL.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's on to something here, I think.
I do is sit around and study stuff, and then I saw y'all talking, and I was like, "Let me tell you about the LBL and then get out of here." But now I'm here.
You know, we
Yeah, he wanted to get us down the rabbit hole and then just be out.
Well,
That's what.
dive down it. I'm all
Well,
about
that's
it.
what I do. If you're not gonna learn, if I tell you,
Well, no, I don't know.
You like to plant them little seeds.
I like to put the seeds in, and then you go down the rabbit hole as far as you want to go.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
All about
anyway,
it.
I love you guys. No, this is RezNeck's
Brandon
thing.
Appleseed.
I'm gone.
You will be back on this show. I will drag you here myself.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely.
anyway, thank you so much for letting me come on, Rez. I love you, buddy. I'll see you.
Love, brother. Love.
You don't
Remember-
love me?
I do love you, Gwen. With
I
your
see you
needles.
Saturday.
Bringing the needles.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Bye, everybody.
And the rings. I'll bring the rings too.
Very cool.
Anyway.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love Brandon. He is
Love it, man.
Yes.
Love it. No. We need more people like that are outspoken and that, despite what people think, they're going to talk about it. That's what we need. That's what
Yep.
we need.
You
That's
take-
why I knew you
stick to your
guys.
theory.
We need people that bridge cultures.
Always speak openly about it.
Rez here that bridges cultures that that allows us to talk about topics that what normally be available.
So I have a question because now my brain's confused. How far, Rez, are you from Chad? Are you
From Oregon.
I'm up in Northwoods of Wisconsin.
okay?
Okay. No ways.
I thought so, but I was
But it's not
Yeah.
very not all that far.
It's going to be a matter of time until I can actually fully retire and travel and start investigating full time like I want.
But I've got
So,
some
who
locations.
knows?
The Liberty Bowling
Yeah.
was one of many, man. There's a lot of locations that I think you'd be interested in.
Well,
Awesome.
make sure we keep in touch on Facebook, and when the time comes,
I'm gonna have to get your.
my goal in life is to travel around and work with the paranormal 24/7.
And there's a
Yeah,
lot of,
yeah.
like I said, a lot of native culture here. Lots of native culture. Lots of interesting cases that we've dealt with, and I'm pretty sure you would greatly enjoy checking out some of these places for sure.
Definitely.
Especially being understanding a lot of the culture, it'd be a different outlook on it. So it'd be a very interesting aspect to bring to the whole ordeal. So your buddy, very interesting guy. He's your good friend.
Yep.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. Probably we talk at least once a week usually.
Right on.
Yeah, he if you don't know much about him, you need to sit down and have a chat with him. The guy will blow your mind. He's a wealth of
I want to
knowledge.
bring
Hey,
him
my
on
mind's
your
already
show.
blown.
He's
Already.
very. I don't know how to put. I love him to death. He took a break from the
He's-
paranormal, but he's back now,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad. So
He's
What
one
is
of
it?
a kind.
That's what we like.
I sent you his Facebook link, Chad.
Oh,
I
okay.
sent it to you.
Thank you.
So you're good to go.
Thank you. All right. So, so there's a big, there's a belief in Native American curses now. Do you want to talk anything about that? There's a superstition involved with curses, and if you have something in your home that Native Americans have had, it can curse you, and it goes on and on.
We don't have a habit of cursing objects and items and then
Right.
setting them out into the world. That's not
Well,
what we're about.
Are there items that are considered that have energies attached to them that you shouldn't? Which I believe that you shouldn't, out of respect, take them. But
There's nothing really that I can think of other than an eagle feather that you should not possess.
yeah,
So
about-
that's strictly spiritual for us natives.
okay. So there's some unique
Yeah.
qualities to that. Okay.
Yes. An eagle feather never should hit the ground. Anytime an eagle feather hits the ground, that's sites of we've lost one of our warriors.
Mm,
You
okay.
know,
What if you find
So-
one on the ground?
if you found one on the ground naturally from an eagle, and if you are an enrolled member of a tribe, then you have one of two options. One, pick it up and bury it, put it to rest. Or
Mhm.
two, if it feels right to you, that feather came to you for a reason and that is now your feather.
Remember, we talked about this.
Yeah.
We talked, yeah, we
But,
did, because I know, yeah.
You don't find that though.
Yeah.
You don't find eagle feathers on the ground. I mean,
Yeah, you do.
you do really?
Sometimes.
Yeah, you can. We see eagles all the time up here in the res, and
Oh, no,
they'll be
a lot of eagles.
feeding. They lose their feathers just like any other bird.
Right. But there's
So
some kind of sacred significance to that, though.
yes,
To that.
that the eagle is the most sacred creature to us that there is. He goes in between us and the creator. So
There was,
every time I see an eagle, I actually drop tobacco. It doesn't matter if I'm walking, driving,
mhm.
whatever I'm doing, I'll stop and make sure that eagle gets tobacco.
There's a
And
memory.
whether it is I give thanks to seeing him, or whether I have a prayer that needs to go out, that's when I do.
There's a memory I have as a child. There's a friend of mine who's Native American, and his father who worked with the wildlife department, but he was I guess qualified to take eagle remains into like take them into his possession, and he was able to he did something with them. I can't remember what he did, but he was a painter. He painted these beautiful portraits of the eagles and very complimentary type pictures, and he was a guy that worked for the wildlife department. But it always stuck in my mind, like what he did with these remains. Like he was special to be chosen for that, and it makes me wonder what was special about him that made that possible. Or
Was he Native American at all?
yes,
Was he an enrolled member of a tribe?
yes,
So that right there gives him the right to have that. I know, like me personally, I can apply for a full dead eagle from, the government, from all these ones that they find that are passed on. You can actually apply for it to use the remains for flutes, for your regalia, for sacred items, stuff like that. So
yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, but the paintings that he'd paint these pictures, and they were beautiful, and it was very interesting. So the eagle being a very sacred animal. Are there any other animals that are very sacred?
pretty much any of the albino full white ones are
Mhm.
spirit animals. It's
Mhm.
God's animals. There's stories of the white raven, the white buffalo. Right now, we're in a time where the white buffaloes are popping up more and more. So
Really?
it's time to start watching what's going on around the world.
Really? So
Yeah,
you mentioned the
hate to
creator.
say it, but the shit's getting ready to hit the fan.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, I agree. So when you say creator, so what's the native outlook on God?
What's that?
And so what
The
is,
God?
yes.
God is the creator of all life.
So
when you hear us say the creator, it's God that we're talking about.
okay.
In my personal beliefs, you have God the creator, you got the Son, Jesus, you have the Holy Spirit, which is the Great Spirit, and also you have Mother God, in my opinion. Mother God is Mother Earth. She sustains us while we're here. She keeps us healthy. He takes care of our soul and our spirit. So without both of them, we don't exist.
So it's very close to Christian belief.
My terms is yes. I don't follow the native religion 100%. So with growing up in a spiritualist home, I grew up with Christianity first. As I grew older, I started learning more about, the native beliefs and other beliefs. I've always taken the different beliefs from different religions that resonate to me.
Right.
That hits me in my core and go, okay, that makes sense. And I
So
put
do you
it in
believe
my-
in, so do you believe in a devil and demons and things like of that nature?
I believe in the possibility of them. You know, I know there is evil and negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but most times when you have something saying it's a demon or it's Satan, it's just some crabby asshole that's passed over that wants to scare you.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. No,
I
I
hate
agree.
to say, you know, all,
It
all this
is
stuff we see
true.
on the internet, all this stuff we see on the internet nowadays is just clickbait. If it was a demon, he would not tell you he's a demon, because once you
Right.
figure out that what he is, then you can figure out who he is, and then you can banish him. You know,
Right.
they're going to
Well, there
come
are-
across
there are-
something sweet and
there are
innocent to start with, to hook their
There
claws
are
into you.
There are anomalies. There are things that are very evil out there, and
Yeah,
but you know, so like the belief in there being a devil, that's not really a native thing.
no, you know, not that I've come across yet.
Not to compress.
Let's hope you don't
Yeah,
have to.
you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right.
Let's hope you
Well,
don't.
like I said earlier, you know, the darkness runs
We're
from me when I
pretty
go to
close,
locations. So
That's pretty
there's a
evil.
reason for that.
Brandon was
Well,
saying that the white buffalo, if you didn't catch it, was born about 3 years ago on
Oh, you mean
Navajo land.
like physically
Oh,
born? Like,
we've had white buffaloes since the 90s starting to come back around.
White
here in
buffaloes,
I
Wisconsin.
read that I
There-
actually read that.
that's an
Yep.
interesting technology. The white
And then
buffalo.
there's another, the one that was in Wisconsin was down in Janesville, I believe. And then there's another one that was just born this year. I seen on Google. There's
That's
some
kind of like the
research.
red heifer, like the Jewish red heifer. That's like it's a red calf that's born. It's kind of like the same thing to symbolize the end of times that some things are coming to an end. Shit's
Yep.
it's gonna hit the fan. Yeah, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But it was weird. The white buffalo.
Yeah,
I know people have seen that white buffalo, which is weird.
Yep.
Spiritually seen it. Yeah.
have you seen it, Rez? Has you seen any yourself?
Nope, not live yet.
Nope.
One of these days. Like I said, I got to retire so I can travel. And then watch out. 'Cause I got a whole list of things I'm going to go
White
look at.
buffalo
People I'm going to visit.
from time to time, and it would always be running beside their car. You'd see the white buffalo. Odd, right? Very odd.
See, I get bears that have
Yeah,
led
no,
me down the road before, or eagles that have flown in front of me low enough that I could watch them and lead me down the road, but never a white buffalo.
Just be like running alongside your car. Yeah.
Yeah. Or when I was in Colorado, I had one that
Again,
came
so
out
that-
right in front of the car and went right down the middle of the road. You know, couldn't get around him or nothing. Traffic's
Wow.
backing up behind us. And, you know, he led me down the road for a good half mile or so and then decided he was going to jump off.
So what does the white buffalo mean exactly?
There's a new beginning starting to happen. A new world's going to start.
So
Basically, the world as we know it's going to end, and it's basically shit hits the fan, and then it's a rebirth.
the rebirth.
You know, a lot of the natives in their histories have a cleansing cycle that's been out there, and it happens every so many hundreds of thousands of years that the Earth does away with what it has to do, and then we start over.
On with the new, huh?
Yeah.
Well, definitely, there's a feeling in the air, like things are coming to an end. I mean, it feels that way. It does. It can't get much worse. I mean, I don't know. There's just that. I mean, they did it like a random interview of people on the street, like whether they thought the world was coming to an end, and 80% said yeah. So there is that feeling like something's going to happen, and
It's going to hit the fan.
yeah. And
It's already started if you think about it. A lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it has, and
Yeah,
there's
another thing to watch out for is that ring of fire of volcanoes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Every case
everybody
you
on
predicted that. Once they start going off more often on that ring,
you're
end
talking
time
about
is
the
getting
fire, right?
closer.
The Ring of
Yep.
Fire, Pacific Northwest, Cascades.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right here, sitting on top of it.
All them volcanoes, that whole
Yeah.
ring that comes around.
Right on top of it. Yeah, so I'm smack dead right in that. Yeah. Weird times, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
exciting
was
times.
born as a child by my mother. Had it been 4th or 5th grade, and she was talking about in your future, in your lifetime, son, you're going to be a spiritual window, and the things that we believe in, people are going to take stock into.
Mhm.
But remember, that window's only open for a short time, and once it does, then everything's going to be different. So
Yeah.
watch for it.
Well,
And I believe we're in that window because back when I was growing up, we couldn't talk openly about the things that we do. You know, there wasn't talking about the paranormal. Mediums
Right.
weren't accepted mainstream.
No,
Now they are.
Exactly.
True. No, it was taboo, very taboo.
Yep.
Very taboo. And I kept separation. I'm glad that we're able to talk like we are today.
Rebirth by fire. Yep.
Rebirth by, yeah.
So all hell's gonna break loose. Needless to say, I believe it, and it's an exciting time to be alive.
Yes, the veil lifts inward, according to Brandon. Yep.
Oh Lord, hold on.
know,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I believe so. So like I say,
everyone talks about like mediumship in the veil. They think it's in their head. Starts in the heart.
No, there's people with gifts. There are, and it's it's bizarre. I mean, very bizarre what's going on today, and it all seems to link together. The UFOs, the Bigfoot, the paranormal, and spirit type, demonic, whatever you want to call it. It really seems to be linked together, and every culture has the same story, right? Think about it.
Yep. They have a similar story to each other, and they weren't all connected.
True.
So figure that out.
So everybody's right, I guess. I mean, what there's a bigger issue here than what we understand here on Earth, I think, and we're all living at the climax of that. So I think we're blessed to be living in this time, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Gwen, what do you think?
I have seen stuff just in my lifetime that just, it won't happen, or this, stuff's happening.
Oh yeah.
People need to open their eyes and see it. That's the thing. Yeah. You kind of.
And people are so blocked nowadays. Yeah. It's like weird. It's like this gift of blocking out things that we don't like, make us feel uncomfortable. Like, where does that come from?
Well, also another thing that the problem is with people out here, this is what they're doing. They're not looking anywhere else around.
True. They're too involved in that. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, crazy. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. People can be like that. It's like if something is this ability to block things out that happen to be reality. It's like if it makes you feel uncomfortable, I still can't. I don't have the ability to block it out. Completely. It's like these people have the ability to switch stuff off that makes them feel uncomfortable. And it's like, where does that come from?
It comes from within. Just like you have the ability to turn yourself on and lift that veil.
How can they do that?
You have the ability to shut off the world to yourself and only believe in what you want. It's part of being human.
I guess. Well,
it's just like turning the TV off.
Yeah, but how can they do that though?
I have a sister that doesn't watch news. She has no clue what's going on. Refuses to watch the news because down here in Chicago, it's all about people getting killed left and right or robberies and all that. She chooses not to feed into it.
Yeah, we're, I mean, when it comes to the issue of God, there has to be something, above us in charge of all this. Has to be. There has to be. I mean, if not,
yes,
we're in trouble. We're in trouble. I mean, so it's good to see that. I mean, none of this, this all didn't happen by accident. I don't feel.
No.
I mean, we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose, and Do you think that maybe part of it is people need to go to maybe regain their relationship with God? Do you think some of that has to do with that?
Yes, and I think people also need to get back to their native roots
Right.
from where they come from the
Right.
teachings from their ancestors.
Right.
That's why a lot of people they gravitate towards the natives because we still have that little bit
Right.
left of our
Right.
heritage.
No, you do.
We know where we came from, where most of your population doesn't have a clue. They say, "Oh yeah, well, I'm from Germany." But they know
Right.
nothing
They
of
don't have
the ancient ways and the ancestors from their country.
Very
I
true.
think if we all dug in a little bit more to who we are and where we come from, we'd have a whole different understanding.
True. I agree with that. 100%. Yeah, and it's ancient people, they really did have a way to connect with the spirit world. They really did. And we may have silicon chips and computers now, but we've lost a lot.
Yeah, and people aren't connecting to nature no more. They're
Right.
not connecting to the wilderness.
Right.
I could have the worst day in the world. Send me out into the woods to that natural energy and give me some time alone.
Right.
I'll come back a completely different person.
Right.
Just from the energy alone from all the plants. Our earth is a living, breathing creature. It has a heartbeat. It gives off energy. And them are the better natural ways to obtain the energy we need as human beings instead of being like an energy vampire. Those that go around and start sucking it out of everyone around them.
Right. No, true.
Oh, I know some of those. All right. What did Brandon say, Pan? It's a real.
Tell me. You got I don't know what big words mean, so what's that mean?
But Tracy is Brady girl. Thank you, Tracy. We've lost connection with each other too. Yes, we have.
Very, very, very true.
Yeah.
People, and they, it's been a pretty good. I feel there are evil out there too, spiritual, that really want to destroy us as well. And I think that the biggest deception that
It's not lost.
that this evil ever made was to pretend like it doesn't exist. I mean, there's been 100 years of people have. It's been taboo to think about the paranormal. It's been taboo to think about the supernatural and our connection to it. And
Yep.
I think that that's been a very, very, very damaging thing, I feel. And there's so much that we don't. There's so much that our simple science can't explain. Out there.
Yeah.
Our methods. I mean, there's something scientific that's going on, but I mean, the fact that conventional science won't recognize. There's enough evidence to prove that there's something supernatural going on. I mean, that from EVPs to environmental changes to everything, there's the data collection.
Yeah.
There is
sorry to interrupt. My co-host Christina says it best when it comes to science. We can't make a human do the same thing 4 times in a row. How the hell are we going to make a spirit do it? And in science, you have to make it happen multiple times in a row, exactly the same, in order for them to believe it.
But as well as I do, like you can collect evidence, tangible evidence, and it's not accepted. First of all, I feel that mainstream science does know what the paranormal is. They've done experiments with it. They know exactly what it is. I think that there's something else going on here. Do you think that there's like a agenda to keep us from knowing exactly who we are, what we are?
Good possibility. There's a lot of people that believe that theory, that to keep us distracted, because when we're more in tune to spirit and more in tune to the higher vibrations, we're not little docile puppets for them.
Brandon said the big word is what it means is all things share consciousness.
Right. There's one universal consciousness. Yeah. I've heard that.
Yep.
That we're all part of the same. And this is like a personal experience that we're having, which is absolutely terrifying if you think about it.
Yes, it's nature.
Yes, nature. Okay, I get what he's saying now.
but our own government uses things like remote viewing, which is a supernatural phenomenon, and they use it to this day.
Oh yeah.
They've done
Mhm.
They've
very
used remote viewing. They've used psychic mediums.
exactly.
You know, they've
Well,
spent
they're well aware of
money
what's going on.
into the research of, you know, the paranormal
Absolutely.
and the woo camp, as a lot of people call it.
Right.
You know, they've
And
they've done their research. You know, there's been all kinds of projects out there dealing with it.
the government doesn't. Well, true, because there's a fear behind things that we can't
Yeah.
control. You know,
Yep.
Yep.
like they're afraid of things that they're out of their control. Which, well, yeah, face the facts. There are things that are out of our control every day. You know, that we deal with, and
Mhm.
the supernatural is one of those. There are things that are beyond our conventional controllable science, and I think one of the things that rubs me the wrong way is when people say, "Well, we're scientific." Well, science changes constantly. I mean, when people
Mm-hmm.
talk about scientific 100 years ago, we are not today. So it's like the paranormal is scientific. There are explanations for it. There are tangible evidence for it. But it's like for whatever reason, there's this suppressive agenda to suppress it. It seems like, and like all these supposed efforts to gather evidence of the paranormal. It's not that hard. If we can do it with $50 worth of equipment, I mean, somebody else can do it with an endless budget. And they can do it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah, they
why
can.
don't they? Or
Yeah,
what
you think all the brilliant minds they have working for them, if they actually took a few years and worked with our current equipment, our current people that are making our equipment, we could go leaps and bounds with what we're doing.
I know I have. Stargate's a good one. Yeah, Stargate definitely.
He says he
Yep,
has.
Stargate.
They
Yep.
scrapped in the 90s, remember? Well, I don't think it's scrapped in the 90s, really. I think it's still used today. But yeah, but no, definitely our government is well aware of it. And it goes deeper than that. They're supposedly they've developed weaponry that can deal with there's a whole theory about aliens that they're actually what we view as demons, same thing, and that they've developed electromagnetic weaponry that can actually destroy these beings. And I mean, it gets the rabbit hole gets really deep. That's concerned.
If it breathes, it can die.
Right.
It's like,
If it's alive, yeah.
you know,
100%. It gets very bizarre. I mean, yeah. I mean, it just is it beyond our understanding? Will we ever understand it? I guess that's the question. Is it meant for us to understand?
I think the time's coming where, they're gonna pull the curtain back, and we're gonna know more than what we do, and things are gonna be released finally.
Or things like coming to a head, like where do you think like it's like an event that cannot be stopped? Do you think that there's something that's going to happen that it's going to be an event that kind of brings
It could be. I wouldn't say no to that being an option.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is it's going to take, a lot of us standing up saying, okay, we want the truth.
Yeah.
And actually the coordinate together to work together in the field.
Right. Right.
To
That's
move
the thing that we
forward.
got to work together, guys. Everybody out there, it's not about the 15 minutes or whatever the hell that you guys are worried about. It's about working together.
Right. It's not
You
all
guys
about
know
the thrill
that
of the chase.
Oh yeah, you know the guy that the poles are shifting or flipping. Which is it? Shifting or is it? Yeah, they're
yeah, things that have happened throughout history is something that has, and the whole global warming thing based on like carbon emissions or fossil fuels. No, this has been going on for a long time, and these events that the Earth has seen are events that are happening. Look up the Air Force map, the Bigfoots. Okay, was that oh man, what the hell is the name of that? I've read that before. I can't remember the administration that it was under, but what do I think? Bungee jump or something like that. Project. Okay, that I'll have to re-look it up. No, but I've heard of it.
we'll have to look at that on the next episode. There you go.
Right.
So what are Bigfoot? Okay, we'll leave with this. What are Bigfoot? Are they interdimensional beings, or is that what they are?
My belief, he's been a big furry brother. But on the other hand, yes, I believe they're interdimensional.
I
I
do too.
believe they
Very
use
intelligent.
more of their brains than we do. If you do
Okay.
the research, the more that you unlock your brain, the higher you vibrate, the more you come in tune with everything, the more abilities that are
Well,
available
myself
to you.
personally, I've never experienced
More.
anything that I would say would directly be linked to a Bigfoot. Except for there was some phenomena in a cemetery years ago that looked like Bigfoot, but that's a different story. Um, there's the fact that the natives had this legend, Sasquatch. The fact that worldwide, there's so many people that witnessed this go on that credit
Yep.
these. But I'd have to say there's something legitimate to it, very legitimate. And
Like I said in the beginning, we didn't talk about it just to talk.
yeah,
We talked about it. We were passing information along for a reason.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have
You
to say
know,
that
and-
gives it a lot of credibility. You know,
Bigfoot's been seen and reported on every continent on this globe other than Hawaii.
oh yeah, true. Other than Hawaii,
Oh,
right.
well, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
But still, it's a lot of credibility. It's a lot of credit.
Yep.
So to say that many
I
people
know.
are wrong, you know, that's a big step. You know, that's
Yeah, I know. I worked for a family from Nepal for a while, and I ran some stores for them. And when he found out that I'm in the cryptids and all that, and I go out looking for Bigfoot, he goes, "He's over in the mountains in my country. He's big and white." I'm like, "Yeah, they're over there," and they firmly believe that
Oh, sure.
that he's there. Just like we're looking at each other, and we know that we're here. That's
Right,
how they
right.
believe it. too.
Well, that's how here in Pacific Northwest is more Bigfoot sightings here than anywhere in the world. And yeah, so it was pretty interesting. We get to kind of got the best of all worlds. I joke with Gwen about that. Have everything paranormal going on here. I'd like to would like to tell people out there how they can get a hold of you, sir, and
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Best way to hold me is on Facebook, Bobbie RezNeck Calkins, or you can go ahead and message me at RezNeck, NECK, Inc., all one word, at gmail.com. Also, if you're looking to catch me in person, this coming weekend, I'll be in Escanaba for the Hiawatha Health and Wellness Fair. The following weekend, I'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin for CapCon. That's my team's inaugural convention that's coming out. That's going to be
Cool.
May 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'll be participating with the team and some other people on a Bigfoot hike on Friday night. Unfortunately, tickets are sold out for that. Saturday, we have the convention with all our speakers and vendors. I'll be working the door. I would suggest now, if you're interested in coming, get some tickets online. Once we hit max capacity, I'm going to be telling you can't come in. I don't want to be an asshole. So get your tickets ahead of time. And then Sunday, we'll be doing a paranormal investigation from Old Gainers Tavern, otherwise known as Bean Snapper Strip Club. If you go on to the CAPS YouTube channel and look up Spirits of Macville, that's our documentary, the multi-part documentary we're doing on that particular location in that land.
Awesome.
So,
Oh, don't
and then,
forget
of
your
course,
show.
yeah, Red Road Paranormal. You can catch
Yep.
us on there, right on YouTube. We're actually taking a break for a few weeks between my and Christina's schedule and everything. We've been freaking busier and busy. And then don't forget, in July, you can catch me at the Paranormal Rockdown down in Broadhead,
Yes.
Wisconsin. And you, young lady, need to get your butt out there.
Hey, I am working on it. I have people going. I have so many people saying, you're coming. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
if I get to go, I'm trying to get Chad to just kind of scooch over there.
I might
Yep.
do that. July's a long
Okay.
ways away.
So
More
I
the
am doing my
merrier.
best. I promise.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking
You
that.
know,
Oh, we should do that.
So.
if Sean calls me and tells me I got to do a trunk and snatch, don't get scared when the bag goes over
Y'all
your head,
coming to
okay?
snatch me from South Carolina? Well, actually, I'll be in Connecticut the weekend.
I know
before
you're
that.
close that way. So that's the only hop, skip,
So
and
I'm
jump
trying
in
to go from Connecticut to the rock down. Yes, the rock down. What's that? Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fixing to play the thing and show you what that is. So just hang on a minute. All right, guys, we are hour and 15
I'm honored to
in.
have him on the show here, Mr.
Yes.
Bobbie Rez.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Coming on.
having me. It's
Thank you,
been my
thank you.
honor.
And I want to have you back on for sure.
Anytime.
Yes,
Thank you,
please. All right, guys, sign it out, Chad.
All right, it's Chasing Nightmares. Until next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the rock down commercial actually first. So here we go.
Better.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, I gotta get it. And it's hid.
Uh-oh.
Where did it go?
Uh-oh.
Sean, where's it at? There it is. I got it.
Brace yourself for the Paranormal Rockdown, July 18th and 19th, 2025 at the Haunted Broadhead Manor. Friday night, rock out with Dead Amsterdam, Left on Red, and headliner Green Jelly. The music may not be the only thing shaking these walls. Rumor has it the spirits love a good beat. Will you meet one? Saturday, meet paranormal legends like Dave Schrader, Sam Baltrusis, and more. Enjoy thrilling workshops, tasty treats, and a live Zoom Q&A with Dustin Perry. Dive into the ultimate paranormal investigation with expert guides. Or join a spine-tingling seance with Sam Baltrusis. Tickets are limited. Get yours now for an unforgettable weekend of music, mystery, and chills.